Happy spring, Libra. Welcome to your June 2021 astrological forecast. The sun is in Gemini, a fellow air sign. Where you have Gemini in your chart is your ninth house. The sun's here up until the 19th. Mercury is here and it's retrograde, but will turn direct on the 22nd. Excuse me. Yep. And there's a new moon solar eclipse on the 10th in Gemini in your ninth house. So your ninth house is many things, but it's a big travel and communication house. It's publishing and media. It's higher learning. It's your viewpoint. It's your outlook on life, your philosophy, your spiritual beliefs. All kinds of fun things here. So I'd have to say, right now, maybe if you have the time to take a vacation, maybe this is when you would be doing something like that. It could be something pretty important. I would have to say it's more for recreation, but it could have like quite an impact on you if you are traveling at this time, especially with Mercury being retrograde here. A lot of times, you'll have to listen to my video on Mercury retrograde. There's a link to it in the description below. Okay, but anyways, Mercury messes around with travel. Things don't go smoothly. Even communications don't at this time. So if you are traveling, you might want to recheck your reservations for wherever you're staying, or any kind of transportation that you're taking, if you're flying or taking a bus, train, anything. Even if you're driving, to make sure that your route is open. It's not closed or under construction or whatever. As far as communications go, this is the house of long distance communication. So you could actually hear from someone who lives at a distance, possibly in another country. This might even be regarding a legal matter. Okay, the ninth house is also legal matters. So maybe someone is actually even getting back to you regarding something that you inquired about as far as a legal matter goes. Okay, or maybe at this time it's just come to your attention and you're trying to find out more information about it, or trying to get answers to something or other. When Mercury turns direct here on the 22nd, it'll take a while for it to really kick in, but that's when your communications start to smooth out, and maybe you'll get some answers at that time. But during this time, it's kind of hard if you're learning anything at this time, because this is the house of higher learning, but that's like university or whatever, anything. But you can also learn things on your own. So if someone is even teaching you something, or if you're taking a class online, or even from a book, you're being self-taught, make sure whatever it is that you're learning, you truly understand how to do or use whatever it is. Okay, Mercury retrograde, it just messes things up as far as any kind of communication goes. But even when you're reading something, you're not really grasping exactly what your takeaway is supposed to be from it. Okay, your comprehension is maybe a little bit off, or you may even decide to take a shortcut of some kind and do something your way. You have this whole new way of doing something, and you think you're brilliant, because you got to skip a step, whereas when Mercury turns direct, you'll find out that step was probably pretty important, and that's why it was there in the first place. Okay, so anything like that as far as communications go, and travel. So just keep that in mind, and especially around that new moon solar eclipse, you could receive a phone call, an actual letter or email, anything like that with some kind of information or communication that has pretty much a real impact on you. And in fact, any kind of eclipse, lunar or solar, the effects of them last for months usually. So whatever occurs around that time. Also, again, legal matters. So if there's a judgment or whatever that you're waiting for. In fact, you may have to wait because of Mercury retrograde, but there should at least be some kind of movement in your case or whatever around that new moon, solar eclipse. So the month starts off with Venus in Cancer on the 2nd till like the 26th, and where you have Cancer in your chart is your 10th house of your career and your outer persona, your professional and personal reputation. It's how people speak about you publicly. So, this is like your career, though, more than your public life, unless you are in the public eye a lot. Okay, well, the sun moves here on the 20th, and Mars has been here since last month, and it'll be here up until like the 10th. So you'll have Venus and Mars traveling, the love planets, okay, traveling in your 10th house of career and your outer persona, your the face people see, the public sees, okay? Not just the face, but like, again, the persona. So people could be a little bit more interested in you now, especially when the sun moves here. If you were trying to get any kind of publicity or attention, not just from the public. If you were trying to get attention, let's say like from a higher up who is in a position to up your position or do something for you as far as finances go, anything, this would be the time that you would be doing something like that, especially with the sun moving here. But having Venus here kind of means that your interactions with higher ups are a little bit more pleasant or friendly. It's almost like a friendly kind of relationship, like you are friends, or they're not just, you're not just boss and employee. Or if you are self-employed and you have, let's say, like a prestigious client or something like that, they take a more liking to you and you feel like you're friends, something, whatever. But having Venus here, period, does kind of bring about an awful lot of compliments from your peers or your colleagues or something like that. But just anyone that sees you, okay, because this is your most public house, right? So don't be surprised if complete strangers compliment you, and it's usually on your appearance, okay? People find you more appealing now than at any other time except for when Venus is in your first house, okay, or in your own sign. So, you're getting an awful lot of really nice attention here. So if you were trying to, again, move up the ladder of success, this would be the best time to try something like that from the 2nd to the 26th when Venus is in your 10th house. Okay, well, once Mars leaves Cancer on the 10th, it moves into Leo on the 11th, where you have Leo in your chart as your 11th house. Venus will move here into Leo on the 27th, but up until that point, Mars moves into your 11th house of friends and associates and acquaintances, and where you would normally go to socialize, any place where you would normally hang out. It's your group of friends, okay? It's any kind of organization that you belong to. And it's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. Okay, so having Mars here makes you a little bit more aggressive and very interested and accelerated, activity in this area, as far as possibly joining an organization that you are want to belong to, but also maybe wanting to meet like a certain person and befriend them. Okay, maybe maybe a close friend of yours has an acquaintance, or they know someone who knows someone, or they know a guy. Okay. Anyway, you're interested in getting to know someone a lot better. You would like to befriend them. Okay. Now there's a couple reasons for this. Could be just, that you like them, you're interested in them for whatever reason. But it could also be that they are possibly in a position to help you reach a goal of some kind. Okay, so this it could be like very important for you right now. You may think back on your whole past life even, and wonder, you know, why didn't I ever do this? I always really liked this, and I would like to try something like that now. You know, a lot of people, due to the pandemic and whatever, have like done everything as far as their priorities in life, and some of those priorities are now new priorities are, let's do whatever, you know, not whatever we want, but let's try something or do something that we always wanted to do, because you never know if there is a tomorrow. Okay, so it's why wait? What are you waiting for? Something else could happen and we're all stuck back at home again. You never know. So this may be one of those times where you're like making up for lost time or something or other. But don't be surprised if you're not able to go out in person. You may be socializing online, and don't be surprised if you get a lot more friends at this time. Let's say if you're on like Facebook or something like that, that you get a lot more friend requests than normal. So, full moon. Okay, there's a full moon in Capricorn on the 24th. Where you have Capricorn in your chart is your 4th house. It's directly across from your 10th house of Cancer and your career. Okay, so your 4th house is your personal life and your home life, your family. It's also like where you live, whatever. So sometimes during a full moon, what full moons are for is to bring a matter or an issue or something, a problem to the surface where it can be dealt with and done away with. So there could be something that is going on, let's say in your personal life or your family life, or whomever it is that you live with. Okay, if you live with someone, like a roommate even, or there could be something going on with your actual physical dwelling, your home. Okay, so around that full moon, it kind of takes precedence over your career. So you may have to maybe leave work or something to take care of like a minor crisis at home, or something that's going on with a family member, or something in your personal life. But it's not like not a real big deal. Okay? So the planet Jupiter is briefly in Pisces. Okay? And Neptune is also in Pisces, right? Where you have Pisces in your chart is your 6th house. On the 20th, it is the 20th, Jupiter turns retrograde, and on the 25th, Neptune turns retrograde, and they are both transiting together in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do and the workplace, your co-workers. It's also the house of health and the house of service. So let's get the whole service thing out there right now. Okay, so I always say service means it's you helping someone else and they're also helping you. It's like a 50-50 arrangement. Like you need help and they need help. So it's out of necessity. It's not fun. It's not out of fun. So anyways, you're both getting something out of it. Okay, so you may have gone into some kind of relationship like this when Neptune was here. Now that Jupiter is here, you may be being asked to do a lot more than you were supposed to, or you thought it was for only a brief period of time, and now this person's trying to make it permanent arrangement or something. You may actually discover that you don't need that help anymore, or as much as you thought you did, so you want to do away with the arrangement. As far as your health goes, having Jupiter here really does help your health, especially if you had something that was very hard to diagnose. Maybe you've been to how many doctors and they still can't figure out whatever is wrong with you. A lot of times having Neptune here brings about a bad reaction or allergic reaction to drugs, even prescribed ones. Having Jupiter here makes you a little bit go overboard in a way as far as your eating goes. Sometimes people gain weight when Jupiter is here, but it's here very briefly. However, you may decide to change your diet or something like that in order to enhance your health, and actually maybe have a bad reaction to something that you're eating, or find out that health foods maybe just aren't for you, and there's a reason for that. Okay? Or you could finally get answers to some of your questions as to what's up with my diagnosis. If you have some kind of ailment that nobody could pinpoint just yet, so maybe you start to get the help. Let's put it that way, just the help that you need. Okay, you accidentally stumble across a doctor that knows what they're talking about. Okay. As far as the workplace goes, Jupiter here might possibly bring in a new person. It could be a coworker or a higher up that is like a breath of fresh air. They kind of like redo everything, to a situation at work that wasn't really working. I've mentioned here before, having Neptune here possibly means that you're working with someone who's very deceptive, or your company is a front for some other kind of work. There's something very not right going on wherever it is that you work. Okay, so having Jupiter here and they're both going retrograde means a lot of this stuff is coming to the surface. Maybe you might even find out that whatever you suspected about someone you worked with, or even your company, isn't so bad after all. It's just something that was a personal matter, and they didn't feel it was everybody's business to know. Okay, so the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Libra on the 18th and 19th. And the best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Aries, and those dates are the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The best time for romance, creativity, fun, recreation, gambling, or speculation, or anything to do with children is the 13th, 14th, 15th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. The best time for money is the 6th, 7th, 8th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for your career is the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 8th, 9th, 10th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell there. It's a notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. Also check out my video on Mercury retrograde. There's a link to it below in the description section, along with a link to ask me a question. You might want to check that out too. And there's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And don't forget to check out my weekly forecast. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.